Greetings, Vault citizens. Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. And today we're going to be looking at the essential perks that you're going to want going into Fallout 76. So after a couple days of playing the PC beta, I've decided I wanted to flesh out all the necessary perks that I'm going to need, the absolute essentials, and I figured I would share it with you guys here today. Everybody's opinions are going to differ, but I think this one is pretty universal. The stuff that I picked is kind of stuff that everybody's going to kind of want. Now, perk cards can be swapped in and out, so these are all things to consider. You can always swap them in and out later with other things, but this is kind of like your overall minimum requirements for special, because there's no respec in Fallout 76, so you're not going to want to waste a single point. So you might want to know ahead of time where you should distribute your points. So this character builder planner, I will have a link down in the description below. Somebody created this so you can help build your build before going into Fallout 76. It's not 100% complete, but it's seems like it's about 90% finished and very accurate so far. There might be a few extras out there and more cards down the road that get added into the game. So based off all that, let's jump right into the essentials of what you're going to need in Fallout 76. So the specials all do grant minor bonuses. I'd say the most impactful one is strength, because you're going to get 5 pounds of carry weight as well as melee damage for every point you put into it. You do get some action points when you put points into agility, and you can find better loot and better quality loot when you put points into luck. So all these things could play a factor into your build. However, I'd say the ones that are most impactful are going to be strength and luck. Endurance, while it does seem very important, and I thought it was going to be super important in Fallout 76, I'm starting to think otherwise, because you do start the game with about 250 health, whereas you only have 150 carry weight. Every point of endurance gives you 5 health, so even 15 points here is going to only give you 75 more health. So you are increasing your sponginess. However, there are way more beneficial ways throughout the cards to give you damage resistance that is way further outpowers the measly 75 spongy health that you could give yourself through endurance. Even all the cards in endurance aren't going to make you tankier. They're just going to make you less annoyance. That's how endurance works. Lowers your thirst, lowers your hunger, lowers your disease rate. All those things can be solved without perk cards. You can simply find the stuff you need to take care of the situation. And the survival aspects are kind of fun. You're just removing that by putting points into endurance and making the game less annoying for yourself. So that's my quick thoughts on everything. Endurance isn't that important to me. Strength is super important. Luck is super important. That's the gist of it. So let's get into the cards. So Packrat, all weight of all items is reduced by 75%. I'm already 3 stars on my level 15 character. It's absolutely amazing. Pretty much 100% of the weight, your weight issues, are coming from your junk and your armor and whatever weapons you're carrying, but mainly the junk. Primarily, it's going to be about 75% of your weight overall. Reducing that by 75% is massive. That's a must-have card to rank 3. Barbarian is a good one. Every point of strength adds 2 damage resist, again padding your loss of endurance there. Second and third tier give only 1 additional point, so you're going to want at least 1, because it's the same value as the last 2. So for sure put in 1. You might want to put in 3. It's definitely a good card, especially because you're going to have 10 strength plus. Sturdy frame. Armor weighs 50% less. Like I said, the biggest issue is your junk and your armor. I was wearing about 60 to 80 pounds of armor on my level 15 character. Some of it was metal armor, but it weighs a lot. Some of the pieces can weigh 5-10 pounds. So that is huge, really huge. And last but not least is strong back. Gain 42 carry weight at 4 ranks. Why is this so huge? Well, each point in strength gives you 5 carry weight. So this 4 cards is equivalent to 8 points of strength. So you put 4 points into strength to unlock 4 of these cards. You've gained 20 from the strength and 40 from the cards. That's a massive bonus. Now it does say 200 carry weight down below. That is incorrect. My character at level 15 already has about 225, and I don't have a single point into strong back yet, and I don't even have 10 strength. So this does need to be recalculated. All right, moving on to perception. I made a video about this, the last video. You can go check it out. I believe these skills should be 0 cost cards, because what you're gonna do is you're just gonna swap them out when you're not at a pick lock. You're not running into pick locks as often as Fallout 4. Sometimes I go 2 hours in Fallout 76 without even finding a lock to pick lock. So put them in when you need them. Otherwise, just put something else in. Perception has lots of VATs and weapon type things. You might find some of it good for your build, but I don't really find any of it a must-have. There's still points left over to redefine your build after this. But for me, the pick locks are a must, so you're going to want at least 3 perception so you can pick lock anything in the game. All right, endurance. I honestly, if you look through here, there's not a lot here that is a must-have. If you are really annoyed by the survival aspects, you might want to play into endurance, but really it wasn't a problem. You're finding plenty of water, finding plenty of food, and plenty of things to cure diseases along the way. So you can reduce all the chances of getting diseases and, you know, being able to eat less or quench your thirst more, but that's it. It's not really buffing your HP bar. It's not increasing your resistance. Some of it gives you radiation resistance, yes, but again, you can just use rad resist, you can rad X, rad away. So there's solutions. I would have expected endurance been something that was going to make you more tanky, and I'm a little bit disappointed to say, because yet again, another Fallout game where you can play without much endurance at all. And I was really hoping to see people that do strength, endurance, tank builds. You get a bonus to HP, you get all sorts of things that make you more damage resistant, but it's really survival aspects. So for me, the one must have here is, you can actually lower this 1 point. I don't know why it was at 4. You no longer take rad damage from swimming, and you can breathe underwater. Some of the most painful radiation areas is going to be water, so that's a must-have for me. Moving on to charisma. Now, charisma is an interesting one because there is a lot more that I would want in here. A lot of it is swap in, swap out. So first up, Lone Wanderer. You're going to want this if you're playing solo. You take less damage and you generate more AP. But once you get into a group, you're probably going to want bodyguards or inspirational. So there's going to be cards that you put in its place once you're in a group, and some cards that you put in when you're by yourself, such as magnetic personality. Gain 2 charisma for each teammate, excluding yourself. So in a full party of 4, it's going to give you 6 more charisma, but it costs 2 to slot this in. You're coming out on top with a bonus 4 points of charisma. So you'll actually legitimately find that you will have 10 charisma from being in a party of 4, and now you can go put in 4 more cards. That is absolutely essential, especially playing on teams. So there's a lot of things in here that I would recommend, and there's a lot of things in here that I think are good. So you may want to consider looking into exactly what you want and how much points you're going to need to swap things in out. But I think 6 is a good number, especially if you're playing on teams. You can boost that up to 10, so you should be good from there. You wouldn't need any more than that. Playing solo, maybe, you know, if you remove magnetic personality and you only had the 4 for Lone Wanderer, you have a little bit of wiggle room there, but not much. You can put the magnetic personality in there, get this up to 8, and probably fit some good stuff in there. So I would definitely recommend at least 4. All right, moving on to intelligence, first aid. Stimpaks restore 45% more lost health. Stimpaks are huge in this game. They're kind of hard to come by. As far as I can tell, you cannot craft them, maybe later on, but they're a huge resource. Really, really huge. So you're going to want that. Scrapper, obtain more components when you scrap weapons and armor. That's huge. You technically only need to equip this card when you're in town, so you might not need this much intelligence. And that goes to say for everything here. You could probably get away with like 8 intelligence and only equip the stuff that you need when you're in town, because you could just get the cards later on and just swap them in and out. Makeshift Warrior, this is a good example. Like, you can craft tier 5 melee weapons. You're gonna want something like that, and you put that one as an example. Like, not everyone's gonna want melee, but you might want the gun one, tier 5 guns. You might want the armor. You might want the energy weapons. There's going to be something in here that you want to craft, power armor. So all the crafting stuff is in intelligence. So you're going to need at least 5 points for whatever it is you're crafting. And along with that, if you bring it with you, if you have it equipped, you will break your weapon slower. However, in luck, there's a chance your weapon will greatly repair itself when hitting an enemy. Does that completely stop it from breaking entirely? I do not know. But I don't think you need this if you have this, and this is actually cheaper. So again, you could have your you could bop that out, have your intelligence lowered. We could lower it to, I think, 7, and then you have your hacker. You're gonna want hacker, expert hacker, and master hacker. Again, things you don't need to have equipped. You can swap them out and in when you need them, but you're definitely going to need at least 5 points in here to obtain the crafting stuff. So, yeah, and you might want a wiggle room, because you might want to have the crafting stuff plus scrapper equipped at the same time when you're in town. When you're out on the field, you might want first aid and all the hacker skills. So I would definitely say about 6 or 7 is a safe bet, because when you get to town, you're gonna have to swap out to all these different cards. I'm crafting melee weapons, swap to that card. I'm crafting bows, let's swap to that card. It's going to be a pain in the butt, hence my last video talking about I think there should be 0 cost passive cards, because that would just make sense. Alright, moving on to agility. Action points regenerate 45% faster. Now, action points are really only good for VATs as well as sprinting. However, in this game, there are no vehicles, everything you do is on foot. So having those action points regenerate 45% faster is amazing for traversing the world. There are some good things in agility, and again, you have plenty of points left over to define your build after you've done the essentials. So I'm trying to show you guys the essentials, and from there you build your build. So if you're really into sneaking and assassinating and doing sneak damage bonus, and you really like some of the lighter weapons, and you like to sprint around with pistols, or you want to be able to take less falling damage, all sorts of things. Mainly stealthy, I would say, and some gunplay. So if that's your thing, I mean, you could spend all your points into agility after. And this putting points into agility will also increase your amount of action points, and you're also regenerating those faster. But for me, if I were to get anything at all in agility, it's going to be that, because you're going to be running everywhere in this game. So definitely a must have. And while last, luck, I still have something I want to show you guys, my alcohol build that I'm going to show right after this. It's super quick, but I think you're going to tack it onto this build and be very happy. So first up is the Pharma. So 80% chance to find extra chems when you search chem container. This includes stim packs. I already have this at rank 3 on my level 15 character, and it is wonderful. Imagine opening up a container, gives you 2 stim packs, and all of a sudden you get 4. I mean, I've noticed throughout my 15 levels of Fallout 76, I basically only have like 3 stim packs on me at any given time, and that's with this. So I couldn't imagine how hard it is to come by stim packs. You're going to be eating most of the time, but in the thick of battle, you're going to be popping those stim packs, and you're in the thick of battle quite often. So this is a must-have. A junk shield, carry junk to gain up to 30 damage and energy resistance. That's huge. That's a huge number. And based off of our Packrat, you're going to have a lot of junk on you. I mean, everyone's going to have a lot of junk on them. We're just going to have more. But the only time this isn't getting any use is when you've left your camp, you've unloaded all your junk, and you've arrived to your destination. For the first 5 minutes of gameplay, you're going to have no junk on you. And immediately after killing 2 or 3 enemies, looting a couple drawers, you're going to have junk on you, and you're going to start gaining that damage resistance. So you're going to always have damage resistance, because you're always going to have junk on you. Therefore, it's a must-have. And last but not least, luck of the draw. Chance your weapon will greatly repair itself when hitting an enemy. I cannot express how often weapons break. I mean, later on, once you're crafting level 50 weapons and higher weapons with higher durability, and you have certain intelligence points to craft weapons have higher durability, there are certain things to make it so you can craft something from the intelligence tree and it starts with double durability than normal. There's a lot of good stuff in intelligence for sure. So when you're crafting these things, you're going to slot in your cards, craft a bunch of stuff, you can get your durability quite high. But early on and leveling up to 50, your weapons are breaking constantly. And the thing is, I only really like to carry 1 melee weapon and 1 gun with me to reduce my carry weight. So I have something for close range, something for long range, and those weapons are breaking. And when they break, I gotta use whatever I've picked up. And then once I get back to camp, I repair it all. So having it repair itself while you're damaging an enemy, it's just going to extend its life by so much. How effective is that? I do not know. But as I showed earlier, you can mix it with something like this, which is going to make it break 50% slower as is. And if it's repairing itself at the same time, you might never have to repair your weapons again. Who knows if you combo it right. So very interesting. With all this said, the essentials, 10, 3, 1, 4, 7, 3, 9. Luck is always good. You're going to find more loot. Strength, more carry weight. You have more, you could carry more of that loot. And trust me, that strength being even up to 15 is very good, because the more you can carry, the less time you're spending in town and the more time you're spending out in the world. I gotta tell you, it feels terrible. Like, you'll play for 15 minutes and your inventory will be full. And even if you're just like, okay, I'm just have my armor and like 3 bottles of water, 2 stim packs, your inventory will fill up in 15 minutes. You gotta go back and you gotta unload it all. It's pretty painful. You're gonna want that strength, you're gonna want that luck. no matter what. Everything else is pretty low. Intelligence, you're going to need it for crafting. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to craft the good gear. So that's pretty essential. The strength, intelligence, and luck is very essential, but you still have 19 points to play with here. 19. That's huge. So you can really define yourself as an agility character. You can go further into strength, endurance if you really want for that survival melee tank. Honestly, I think you can get damage resistance better. You don't need much endurance at all. Like I said, you can go into VATS and do a VATSy character. You can go into charisma, intelligence, and really make that guy a party buffer. There's some pretty cool builds here, but this is essential. So you'll be able to do those builds on top of the essential and still be good to go. So I recommend everybody who starts off doing this, starting with your strength and luck. From basically levels 1 to 10, strength, luck, strength, luck, strength, luck. Get all of what you need from there. Maybe a couple things here and there, but yeah, mainly strength and luck, and then some intelligence. And one more thing to show you guys before we end off this video. This is the alcohol build. It's so good to layer on top of what I've already showed you, and it's only going to cost you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. It's super good. I mean, you might not even need the 8 points because you could swap the cards in and out when you need to, but let's get into it. There's no chance you'll get addicted to alcohol. Awesome. Happy-go-lucky. Your luck is increased by 3 while under the influence of alcohol. Boom, now you have 3 more luck to play with, always, so long as you're always drunk and you're never addicted. Party boy, the effects of alcohol are doubled. I don't know if it's multiplicative here, but if you drink something that increases your luck, it's going to increase this. You could drink alcohol that already gives you 3 luck. Now it gives you 6. Now it gives you 9. That's huge. You can slot in so many luck cards as long as you're constantly drinking that alcohol. The best part of all is Quack Surgeon. Revive other players with liquor. As of right now, it costs stim packs to revive your allies. Those stim packs are precious. It's such a waste to pop it on an ally, in my opinion, because you're, like I said, you only have a handful of stim packs with you at any given time. So now you can just throw a bottle of liquor at them. Liquor's cheap, you find it everywhere. Level 15, I probably have like 100 stacks of liquor. So having this stuff is amazing. And last but not least, food and drink weights are reduced by 90%. So if you have 100 pounds of liquor, it's only going to weigh 10 pounds. 100 pounds of liquor, it's going to literally be 200 plus bottles. So you can carry around 10 pounds of liquor, and it's going to be a lot of liquor. You're going to be able to drink it every time it runs out. You're going to be able to revive your allies anytime they're down. You can revive all your allies. And then there's a lot of points in charisma where you can give your allies benefits like AP regen for 10 minutes after you revive them. So you're in a hard end game zone, everybody's dying, you're throwing your alcohol at them all, reviving them all, super cheap, super fast, and then they're all coming back even stronger than before. You're literally the booze bard. It's amazing, and you're gaining those benefits yourself. Like I said, these stats, you can only have 56 total. With alcohol, you're going to be drinking it and gaining double the effects. You could literally drink a bit of alcohol from every type, increase your strength, your perception, your endurance, your charisma. You can buff all your stats by like 5 or 6, so that just min-maxes you even greater. Yes, you're going to constantly be drunk, but there's no chance you're going to get addicted, and it weighs practically nothing, and the wasteland is abundant with alcohol. So why not exploit this? It's absolutely overpowered. Really good combination here. For me, this is going to be essential on top of my essential build. That's what I'm going for, and any points that I have left over, I think I'm just going to try and pick a weapon as I go. Like if I'm playing with rifles, I'm going to just go put or if I'm playing with pistols, I'm just going to put 3 points into something pistol related. Like I said, I usually only carry 1 weapon with me and a melee. I have strength, so I could kind of just go around with 1 weapon. If I feel like playing with a shotgun, a rifle, pistol, I'll just slot in the appropriate weapons. Maybe eventually I go with a pistol and a rifle, who knows, but I'll just make my pistol the weaker one of the 2. So I'm just gonna balance my things out to what I feel like at the time, but that doesn't mean I need to max out perception in order to use all these guns. Just use what I need at the time. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I really feel like if there's something I really want to max, I'm gonna keep upping that strength for carry weight, as well as that luck for, I guess, the magic find, item find, and maybe some agility to increase my action points overall. Charisma is really good. Intelligence is really good. My weakest is the endurance. I would neglect that again, like I have in every other Fallout. But maybe you guys feel differently. Let me know what you think of this essential build down in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to smash that like button. Go check out the links down below if you want to go build and plan your own character and do the essential build that I showed you. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.